The broker told me that she asked around about MyLendingPal, and their preferred lender said that you were a discount broker.
A discount broker.
Yeah.
Okay, good. So the situation, right? So preferred lender looks us up, MyLendingPal, finds us online, and says we're a discount broker. From what I can tell, they just read our Google reviews, right? We do make an effort to collect Google reviews after every transaction. And like I've spoken to in the past about how our company formed and how we had to be different in the market with the challenges that we had, coming from a primarily an Indian clientele, right? Again, my family culture, everybody's from India, but coming from that environment where they always, they need two things. One is good service. It's a relationship driven thing. So you have to be good, and it's it's referral based, but you also have to be the sharpest in the pricing, right? Because and it's not everybody, you can't generalize, but a lot of the times, like, the money is the primary motivator behind where they lie their interests, right? And so you've got to be a good mix of both. Now, with our model, right, and the way that we were operating, if the constraint for me is that I am going to be making less on a loan because I'm giving them better pricing, and I'm going to be more competitive, and that is a requirement. One of the things that I have to do is I have to watch my new customer acquisition cost, right? And so the reason why, let's say a discount broker, what is a non-discount lender, like a lender that charges more rates, I guess, is going to have such higher rates, which again, we've talked about it, borrower pays for, is because it's just not creative. It's a traditional model where they go and they have a partnership with an office where either they give you some money for co-marketing, which usually is not that effective with the lead vendors these days, or they don't give you any money, but they make 3% on the back end. They don't necessarily, their acquisition cost can be a whole lot higher than ours could. So if I'm not going to manipulate two things, I can't manipulate service because I know that's a requirement, right? And I'm balancing these things, and I have to be the best in what I do operationally, and my interests are operationally because, again, we want to grow to be nationwide. You're not going to get there just being the cheapest. There's always somebody that'll undercut you, and you're not going to get there by offering bad service, and I have to do something. So I watch my acquisition cost. We build with the referrals only, and we pass the savings. Since I don't have to spend money for a lot of leads in the mortgage side, we pass those savings on to the borrower, right? And then we learn to operate efficiently. We utilize technology that helps us take out manpower in certain cases, right? I always am an advocate for a good team, good people, everything like that. But, we have to be creative with what we're doing, and if there's something that can be automated, in part of the process that can be streamlined or automated, I'm there. I'm first one looking at it, or bringing in something that can help save time and hours, because that's a savings that's passed to the consumer, right? And that's going to be a better experience. So I wouldn't say it's a discount shop or a discount brokerage or anything like that. We have good competitive, the source of financing too, just happens to be more for the same rate, we'll have more margin on the back end too. Yeah. So from the loan officer perspective, I'll give you a number scenario. Let's say you're quoting 5% on an interest rate, right? And the chart, if you're going to that preferred lender retail, they would charge the borrower, let's just say $5,000 in points and fees for the 5% rate. Now, when I price the loan, because I have competitive financing options through my channels, that 5% loan pays me $5,000, and then borrower doesn't have to pay anything for it. So that doesn't make me a discount shop, essentially.
Yeah.
Right? It's fine. But I think it's a heart, it's we strive in operations, right? And that's good. That's a good thing. I want to be competitive. But if my financing options are more, I have a higher margin on the back end, and I don't have more layers to it, then I don't have to charge the borrower an extra $5,000 to make money, to pay my people or whatever, because I'm getting that from the rate, the yield spread on that rate itself. Whereas, in the retail sense, the corporate has maybe taken a lot of that yield spread, and they took 10,000 of the yield spread because they were charging 5 and we're charging nothing. So, they're charging 5, we're doing nothing, and then they have to get back and make their own money. I've made it on my 5, so maybe they're taking 10, right?
Yeah.
And it's just passed on to the borrower, and it's not like the service would be different. Let's say we're both perfect in service. Service can be the same, that model doesn't change who we have on our team or how many people we have on our staff or how operations run. It's not that. It's just the back end of the yield spread and kind of where the money lies. It's a money thing, and it goes a lot to the back end side of it, but also, how willing are they to adapt to the new things, new technology change, and how quickly can they do that? We could do it a lot faster. And I mean, we just have better sources of financing. So, I mean, that's an easy one. But, I mean, it's not, I would say that it's a popular thing. Like, and people look us up, and I'm happy that people, the reviews in particular are covering basically from some of our clients that say it's like, we've looked and checked 10 different lenders, we could not get the rate that we got. That's not a bad thing. They're also talking about how good the service was and how effective and how quick everything was, and underwriting in the same day and closing in less than 15 days in some cases. Like, it's not discount shop. So I wouldn't, but I give everybody props. We're all in the same business. We have to work hard, and we're competitors, right? But that's highest level, and I always can go deeper into it, but that's the high level of why.
Yeah, I mean, if you can get the loan closed